The topic this morning is language, the interview. So historically, and even currently, but historically, meditation was something that was explained to you, and then you did it together. There was often a teacher and student. There was often others involved. There weren't books at the time, and it was really something that was abstract and then experiential. Um, so we would consider the Buddhist teachings as something that you were told or explained, or you didn't quite know what it meant until you meditated with them and then had a conversation about them afterwards. And this was a way to keep the teachings alive and fresh. And we started this daily online meditation almost 4 years ago. I keep saying 3 years, but it's almost 4 years ago. We had no idea that we'd have the desire to keep it going this long. And Nellie and I had put together a format of our practice that was really just one way to practice reflective meditation. But we thought it would be easy to do for people to establish a daily practice, for people who were already practicing to continue and have community daily, and also for new people to get a taste of reflective meditation, of the practice that we're doing and some of the distinctions and commonalities it has with other practices. And we're really happy. It seems to have done that. Um, Yesterday we met as a group, the hosts who kindly give their time and energy and effort to make this happen, the teachers who teach daily. And we talked about introducing some light structural changes into the format if the teacher would like to do that. And they'll be mild, we'll talk about them, but I'm going to be the first one to change the structure a bit today. So, and what that means is that we're going to meditate for a little bit less time. We'll still have time for reflection, but we'll have more time at the end for the interview. So, um, in many of our other groups, the interview is the main focus of the practice. And this has been a way that we've been able to learn the Dharma from our experience. And this interview is something that we inherited from other Vipassana, other insight tradition, other mindfulness traditions, but we've crafted it into something that looks quite different. So we changed the word interview to interview. You can hear the difference, right? No, of course not. We decided not to change the word, but we put a tilde in between inter and view, one of those squiggly little lines. Um, and from that tilde, when I say it or when you see it written out, you really don't know about the intentions and the refinement that and thought that has gone into what is our interview process. So I'll have to tell you about it, and it's a good story. It's a backstory, really, um, because when the word interview came over with meditation, when it arrived at meditation practice, in the English language, it had a lot of other connotations: a job interview, housing interview, journalistic interviews, IRS interviews. I mean, really, it was kind of heavily weighted towards, I'm going to have an interview. Um, and now we do things like podcast interviews. Like the interviews have opened up. There's a really a large variety of ways we can talk about what an interview is. Um, so not surprisingly, there are a variety of ways to be interviewed within meditation practice. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about ours. So we started with the word inter. We wanted to keep this word and really as a preposition. As a preposition, the word inter means among or between or reciprocal even. So it means something is going on among us, between us, inter. Um, and that led us to pick the tilde. We didn't do this consciously, but now I looked at it. The tilde often means approximate. So I like that because it's like we're going into something that's approximate. It's not certain. We're not sure where we're going to go. There's a little bit of vulnerability in it and risk in going into this interview. And that tilde to me says a lot. Um, and then the last word, view. Um, uh, View is looking at our perspective, our beliefs, our values, our experience of those. But in Buddhism, view has a really heavy connotation. It's a teaching on the Eightfold Path, and it's a central idea in Buddhism. That a view, it's not simple. It's something. It's not just an abstract thought or feeling. It is charged interpretation of our experience, which really shapes our lives, shapes what matters to us. And it comes from our thoughts, our sensations, our feelings, everything that we experience within meditation. So together between us, in our interviews, we're going to be looking at the views that come in your meditation experience, and the views of the person who's talking with you about your meditation experience. And it's all approximate. It's not certain or complete. And our intention really is for you to start to trust this process of having kind and curious attention on your experience from another person and then also from yourself. And it's really like learning something new. You know, we talk about it as the language of experience and finding the Dharma within your own language. Um, and to do this, it really isn't more intimate process. So it's something that we're asking people to do is to talk about their lives, what matters to them, what comes up in their meditation sittings. And you're going to know yourself in a more intimate way when you allow this into meditation. And it may feel vulnerable, or you might be shy about sharing this with others, or not knowing what do I talk about within all of this stuff that happened within my meditation practice? What's important? What's of value? And so it's a practice that we won't do perfectly. One of our intentions as interviewers is not to name what's important in your experience, but for you to bring forward what you think you're interested in, what you're curious about. Um, and it's really a way to become less dependent on others offering us meaning, on others inspiring us, or other people showing us the way. We're really flipping that over into when you're interviewed, you're the interviewee, your experience is what matters. We're going to follow that. So, one of the ways we've stated this in our book and the way I think about it, which could sound like a high aspiration or an ideal, but I've really found it to happen reliably, regularly, is that the interview is a place where we can craft our inner motivation and our knowledge. And we do that together in a conversation. And sometimes those conversations feel sacred, like inspirational, something just happened. Other times they can just feel like ordinary. You just got a chance to describe, excuse me, one sec, to describe something a little bit more in detail, or to pay attention to something just a little bit differently, or to respond to the warmth and the kindness that's coming at you from another person. Um, it's really not a place where we give advice, where we have crosstalk or feedback. It is something more where we're in the boat together, exploring new waters, and sometimes old waters and repetitive waters, and etc. So today I'm going to change the format slightly. Um, what we'll do is we'll meditate for 20 minutes. We'll have 10 minutes for reflection, and then we'll have 20 minutes for a few more people to share about their experience in meditation, to have a little bit more time to talk about what goes on for you, and to have an interview. Okay. I'll ring the bells